Thanks for joining me today on the ClearBlade Technical Blog Series. My name's Allsbrook, and today we're going to look at device administration and how we can easily configure our systems for specific use cases. As we build out our IoT solutions, we often need to do things like define device types, whether that's a pump or a battery. Very often we want those types to have specific schemas, whether it's around voltage and amperage or whether it's around RPMs and pressures. As each device is assigned a type, we then bump into things like the ability to edit that and promote that capability to our end users, while being able to dive in and even get a little deeper history on what each device is doing through its messages and such that are going on for both control and status. All of these tasks look administrative in nature, so today we're going to talk about how we do that device administration. As usual, we go to ipm.clearblade.com and we find an IPM package available to us where we can begin doing the sorts of administrative activities we need. The first thing I'll do once I've browsed to IPM is I'll look and I'll see Device Administrator. This is the package we're going to work with today, so I'll select that package. And we see we're given our base URL for doing the installation. I'll copy that URL, and then I'll go back to my ClearBlade platform instance, and I will click Install. It's going to be a new system, so we'll bring it in all alone. We'll paste that URL, click Fetch, and now we see we've brought the imported system directly into our developer account as a new IoT solution. Device Administrator is now here. There's some basic steps to set up. If we look inside of the README here, we'll see that we really need to edit a constants library followed by running a setup service that will actually create some users for us. So let's quickly do that together. We'll click Code, DevAdmin Constants. My platform URL is a little different, and then I need to provide actually developer credentials. These are the actual developer that is owning the system. So in this case, it's my ID here. We have to do that because we're going to grant some bigger privileges to these end users for actually altering the device table. It's a developer-only activity. The great news is everything inside of ClearBlade is an API. So even though it's a developer activity, we can expose that securely to our end users via services and those actual APIs. So you'll need to provide that to make that happen. With the constant save, we'll go and we'll select the DevAdmin Setup service. Inside of here, we're going to create two users. You can see we have the passwords at the top for those two users. Those are going to be the two different roles we expect to be using, whether it's a base user or it's a portal editor. I'll just click Save and Test on this service as is, and we should get back a response that we've created two new users in our system. Okay, great. So devadmin _ portal editor and user at ClearBlade. For this demonstration, we'll just be the user. That's all there is to the setup. So if we were to go back and read in our IPM package, we'd see that the next thing to do is to actually go to our portal and open our device administrator portal. This is where we need to provide that user credential we just created. We'll log in. And now we have a base portal here with some information about selecting a device from the menu. So I'll open the menu and choose. We see we have one device. It's of type battery, and it's called the Pump 101 battery. I'll select that device, and then we can learn about what that actual battery has, what attributes it has. We see it has amps, manufacturer, and voltage. We can certainly come in and change that value. So now we've updated that particular device in our back-end system to have a different structure. And then on the right-hand side, we see we have message history. In this case, we just imported the system, so we don't have any history yet. But I could come in here and very quickly just do something like, let's just send a control command. So we'll switch to control. A control command to tell this battery to go into conservation mode, right? So we're going to actually start telling the battery here, conserve what you are doing, or protect your state. So we'll set it conservation true. And then we'll close the JSON object and we'll publish. So now we see we have that message here. So we essentially have issued a command to an end device. The same is true on the status. Maybe we could have the status report from the battery. It might send back its current charge level. And here maybe it was 77%. We'll publish that. And then maybe that battery level drops over time. Publish again, 73. And we can see that charge level status being reported back to us. Of course, as an administrator, a device administrator, it makes sense that I might want to select one of these messages over time and maybe delete it. So I can clean up my own message history here if I want to. I've been given that power. This is a pretty handy view of all of our devices, obviously sorted by type. Where can we go from here? Well, let's take it just a little bit further where we can actually go and look at our device types themselves. Here we have one device type available to us, but we can create a new one. In this case, we'll call one pump, and we'll click Save. And now we have a new device type called pump, and we can add to its schema. Perhaps we want to add PSI, and that might be a float. We could add RPMs, which could be an int, and maybe we'll go ahead and add brand, and that'll be a string. So we're going to create a new type of device, and these are the attributes that device cares about. We update it, and we can actually end up seeing that we now have this kind of, and we will create pump 101. Rather than being battery, we'll choose the pump, and we'll give it a quick default key, and we'll create that device. Then we'll need to select the new pump 101 device, and we can see it has these attributes, and we will assign it Acme. Pressure is 88, RPMs is 356. So now we've actually updated that pump 101 value, and then we can do the same sort of behavior. The great news here is if we look behind the scenes back in the ClearBlade platform, we'll see those devices, that new pump 101 device of type pump created. All the data still sits in the ClearBlade structures as you would expect, uniquely and queryable. There's a data structure behind it all with the device types associated with it. And of course, we can see the messages flowing through that we sent together, whether it's battery status with the correct deletions, or it's the control commands that we might want to do for interacting with those specific devices. Thanks for joining me today on the ClearBlade Technical Blog Series. This has been the Device Administrator.